All right, folks. So I'm getting some technical difficulties from Juan, but we're going to be talking about Trump's health decline. Is it really happening? Is it real? We're about to find all that out and more once Juan jumps on here, but he's having really bad reception where he's at, and he keeps freezing. So I'll see him in the green room when he pops back on, and we'll get this show started for you. Until then, I'll go through my normal routine and read the articles. Folks, hit the notification button. Hit the notifications button, like, share, subscribe. How many of you saw me on Timcast? Pretty, it was, I kind of walked into it blind, I didn't really know what to expect. Jack Posobiec took the place of Timcast. Timcast has been out. He's been a little sick, but he's getting better. That's important. He's getting better. So it was a fun time. It was a fun time. And we really rocked the house. I think I did pretty good. I think I held my own. Ringside with Nino, folks. Ringside with Nino, September 1st on Monday. That'll be fire as it always is. So September 1st, Monday, 5 p.m. Get to Ringside with Nino. We're going to war game everything. We're going to talk about everything that's happening behind the scenes right now. Crazy times. I see that Juan jumped back in, but he jumped back out. I don't know what's going on. So we're just going to keep playing it out. We're going to see what happens here. Folks, when the lights go out on Amazon, leave an honest review. That's all I ask for is an honest review. Also, The Mexican Mix, my mama's book, The Mexican Mix. Please leave an honest review. Lots of stuff to talk about here. Russia's threatening nuclear war. Saying, you know what? We've had enough. We will use our nuclear capabilities. This is not a joke. We're not playing around. Obviously, Zelensky wants no deal. Neither side can come to an agreement. This is, I repeat, is going to escalate. It is going to escalate. And I've said some things in the past. I'm really starting to see this undertone happening. I've always said when the pendulum swings to the left, really far left, it'll swing really far right. And I'm starting to see we're passing that middle ground. As Juan has always said, the cure has got to be greater than the disease. But I'm starting to see some really racial undertones, far right or far white, I should say, undertones in the movement. And I'm sure you all can see it. Many can see it with Nick Fuentes. He's already coming out against blacks. There's a lot of other podcasters coming out. We're sick of it. I'm sick of the criminal behavior. So I can understand where they're coming from. I totally get it. I see it. I understand it. And I did a short video on it today on Facebook. And folks, we're not going to tolerate that shit anymore. It's over. It's done. The criminal degenerate behavior is over. We're going into a new paradigm, AI, technical supremacy, where there's going to be AI watching everything. Criminals will not be able to thrive. They will not. You're seeing the National Guard on the streets. You're starting to see AI, Palantir take control of everything. Folks, we're going into a different world. We're going into a different frontier. Homeless are getting picked up out of and placed in encampments. Homeless encampments. Some never to be seen again. What the hell? What the hell's going on? So I'm watching this. I'm really watching this. I'm trying to stay fair and balanced through the whole thing. Folks, get your red light therapy. What if you could fire up your heart and supercharge your circulation in just 15 minutes without drugs or surgery? That's exactly what cutting-edge research shows red light therapy can do. It charges your heart's mitochondria, helping it beat stronger, last longer, and fight inflammation. In one study, mice with heart failure bounced back fast. The heart shrank to a healthy size and function soared. No pills, no side effects, just pure light power. I use this every day. Red Life delivers the exact therapeutic wavelengths used in those studies, so you can energize your heart naturally. More stamina, better blood flow, a heart built to last right at home. To claim this breakthrough yourself, go to myredlight.com and use the code NINO. Use the code NINO, and the PEMF mats are down there as well. I did a whole show with Jonathan on it. He's going viral right now for biohacking kind of sandwiching these two devices together and making a med bed hack. Pretty cool. I use it. I got the mat. I got the red light. It's awesome. I feel a difference every day. In fact, I need less sleep, and I'm feeling better all day long. Also, PatriotWear.com, folks, right there. Bing, right there. Looks like Juan finally got on. Thank God. X is Nino Boxer. Let me know. How do y'all think I did on Timcast? Even though Timcast was in there, it was Jack Posobiec. I was definitely, I kind of walked into it blind, but let me know how I did. Give me a thumbs up. If you haven't watched it yet, go back and watch it. It's a hell of a podcast. It was very long, about 3 hours long. I was there. The traveling itself was horrendous, but they treated me great. I was very comfortable. The hospitality was off the charts. They're a great crew. Great crew. Nino'sCorner.tv. You want to get there, folks. We talk about everything deep state, everything happening in the deep state war. I'll have Juan O'Savin on today. Hopefully, if I can get him on here for YouTube, I'm also going to get him on for Nino'sCorner.tv today to talk about this, where we're headed, and how this all looks, because we are headed into some very dangerous territory. Mark my words. And a wild card. Is Trump sick? Is he sick? There's bruises on his hands. Ankles are swelling. You got Alex Jones coming out saying he's in dire health, that he may have to be replaced. You got J.D. Vance talking about, I'm ready to step up. What the hell's going on here? What is the deal? So Nino'sCorner.tv, Jerome Corsi's General's tent was absolute fire. It was off the charts. Sheila Holm is up there now. I got Stuart Swerdlow. I think that's how you say his last name. Swerdlow. He's Russian. Stuart Swerdlow is going to be on Nino'sCorner.tv and a YouTube show, Survivor of Montauk, the Montauk Project, and a Russian ambassador. He's in all the big meetings. He relayed a lot of information on my show. I mean, it kicked ass. So that's going up tomorrow. That'll be up tomorrow. Also, Trader Girl Q, Mel K, The Ghost, and Juan O'Savin. If we can get him back on, he keeps coming in and out, in and out. I don't know if something's wrong with his phone, but I just saw him pop up. Alex, can you give me details on this? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's some kind of technical difficulty. I'm not sure if it's his combination of his phone. StreamYard sometimes can be tricky depending on,
Yeah, I don't know. So I see him pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out. So we're just waiting on Juanito, folks. I'm sorry about this. All right, folks. Gold and silver apparently are hitting a high right now. So tell me where it's at right now. This is pretty wild. Pretty wild. I heard it's just going through the roof. Let me know. I saw it in the chat right now. I haven't been able to check it. Please let me know if it is. That's awesome if it is. And without further ado, folks, you might want to turn it down or turn it up. Let's get this party started, even without Juanito. I don't see him back in here, so we're waiting on him. Juanito, can you hear me, Juanito? Get on here. Coming at you live for the apocalypse, folks. Yeah, baby. Let's go. All right, so I'm ready to be president. That's what Vance says. Is Trump's health in question? Now, we're going to clarify this with Juan if he ever gets on here. Vance, in an exclusive interview, says he's ready to be president while hailing Trump's health. Everyone knows J.D. Vance has ties. Obviously, we know, I've been told, folks, by a lot of people, that J.D. Vance will be the next prospect for presidency after Trump. But will it come sooner than we expect? Could he be filling Trump's shoes within the next year? Lots of rumors circulating that Trump's health is declining. Now, I'm going to get Juan on here. Hopefully Juan gets on here soon so we can talk about this. Everyone knows J.D. Vance's ties to Palantir and Peter Thiel. Some say he's a Peter Thiel creation, and he's being positioned to be the first tech president to follow Trump. Could he fill Trump's shoes? Well, Trump's ankles aren't filling his shoes. There's pictures out there right now of Trump's ankles that are overflowing his shoes. Now, that to me, my dad has the same problem. That speaks of bad circulation. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if Alex can pull up a picture of Trump's cankles or his ankles, but that doesn't look healthy to me, folks. If you're staring at that picture right now, that doesn't look too good. Now, I would like Juan to come on here and clarify. And if he doesn't come on, I'm just going to tell you what Juan told me, but I'm going to give him some time to jump on here. If he's not on in the next 10 minutes, I'll just tell you what Juan told me. All I can say is that there is an event looming on both sides. A big state play is in the works, and it's in the cards. It is in the cards. They're not giving up that easy, and it's spy versus spy. They're not showing their hands to each other, and I believe fall is going to be very explosive going into spring and summer and probably all the way to 2032 and beyond. Could even be beyond. This could last, folks, I'm just being honest with you. This war is big, and it's for humanity. It's all for humanity. Can we trust those around Trump? Can we really? Is Trump having to play ball with some very sketchy people? Absolutely, he is. Can we trust Thiel? Can we trust Peter Thiel? Can we really trust Vance? Vance is being promised the crown. I'm telling you that right now. Is Trump becoming a little too arrogant, maybe? Could Trump be overconfident and careless about his own welfare and health? Is he sick? Could we say he's sick? Could they be telling us he's sick, and then could he get poisoned? Just throwing some things out there. Can we trust everyone who is around him, folks? You have Alex Jones sounding the alarm bells regarding his swollen ankles. You have now J.D. Vance giving an ominous statement saying, quote, Trump is going to serve out the remainder of his term, but if God forbid, there is a terrible tragedy, he cannot think of a better on-the-job training than what he has received in the past 200 days. Damn, it's already been 200 days? Wow. Excuse me, but what the hell was that statement about, especially with all these pictures circulating and surfacing? So what about political consultant Rick Wilson? Rick Wilson told co-hosts and guests on the Jim Acosta show that members of Trump's cabinet are already measuring the drapes in the event of a serious health complication from the U.S. president. Now, Juan has the scoop on this, and I hope to hell he gets on pretty fast here because I really want him to tell you everything that's going on, and he's not on yet, so I don't know what's going on. His reception was terrible. So here's my question, folks. Could they remove Trump and replace him with Vance before the arrests begin? So in other words, could they be setting the tone to take Trump out so it doesn't look like it's coming from Trump, so it doesn't look like retribution or revenge? In other words, all right, let's take Trump out, say he has health issues, let him go golfing, put in J.D. Vance, let the arrest begin. Could that be a possible scenario? Well, I want Juan to talk about this as soon as he comes on, but folks, he's not on yet. He keeps popping in and popping out, so really bad reception on his end. There's also many rumors swirling around within the Patriots community, folks, that his decline is severe. That's just the rumors. Now, we'll find out more in a moment, hopefully. I don't want to speak for Juan, so we're just waiting for him to come on. What's the deal with Trump's bruised hand and health issues, the rumors that are going around? So normally, a 79-year-old man having a bruise on his hand wouldn't be much of a story, but that changes when the speculation is in question for Donald Trump. Trump's injury was first spotted weeks after the 2024 election, which he won in part by bullying. Look how they word this. Joe Biden for his decrepitude while pretending he himself possessed almost superhuman health and mental acuity. For months, the White House dismissed Trump's bruising as one of those hand-shaking injuries you're always hearing about. Then, when Trump's terrible hand makeup and swollen ankles raised too many questions, the administration admitted he has a condition known as chronic various insufficiency. Yet, questions about Trump's health and his bizarrely terrible attempts to conceal his physical issues have persisted. Here's the guide, which we'll keep updated. So now they're following this and they're tracking this big time. Do you see that? Yeah, I don't know if you can zoom in on that, Alex, but there's the bruise right there. That doesn't look normal to me. His ankles don't look normal to me. Alex Jones is all over this saying he's sick. And I'm talking to a lot of people within the Patriot community, credible people, folks, that are saying, yes, big chance his health is declining. I want to get Juan on here as soon as he jumps in to talk about this, but he's not on, so I don't know, folks. What happens when he's gone? Trump's health issues have associates jockeying for leadership. So right now, everyone's trying to get in position in case he gets out. So political consultant Rick Wilson told co-hosts and guests of the Jim Costa show that members of Trump's cabinet are already measuring the drapes in the event of a serious health complication of the U.S. president. They're already getting ready to replace him, is what is being said behind the scenes. The enemy inside the wire is almost always dangerous. In a world of AI, advanced surveillance, and propaganda disguised as news, the pace is unrelenting. During President Trump's first and now second terms, the unelected deep state bureaucrats and uniparty officials have banded together to fight our president by all means available, all without plausible deniability, from the Russiagate hoax to impeachments, false charges, assassination attempts, and the recent raid on deep stater John Bolton. This war becomes hotter and hotter, folks. It's getting hot, getting real hot. And, I tried to pose this question on Timcast, and I wasn't successful because I didn't think they wanted to go there. But I said, why do you guys think he's placing National Guard out in D.C.? Why do you think 19 states our National Guard is deployed? Why do you think this is happening? Why do you think he's banning burning the flag? Because who burns the flag? Liberals. Yeah. And why ban on no cash bail? Why a ban on that? He's setting his ducks in a row, folks, because he knows what's coming. He knows exactly what's coming. Do I make sense here? He's getting ahead of the ball. He's crippling their future moves. I'm telling you this right now. And who else is he putting in the spotlight? George Soros. Who's connected to George Soros? Beto O'Rourke. Gavin Newsom. All of them. All of them, folks. He's connecting together with a nice, fine line. Because he knows something's coming. And I'm going to guess this fall is going to be really, really explosive. There's no King's X in a war like this in fifth generation warfare, folks. It has been underway for decades. Unelected bureaucrats are simply foot soldiers. Think of billionaire donors and former senior elected officials as middle managers. So who are the generals arrayed against us? For that, you will have to look beyond the swamp and throw the tinfoil hat away. You won't need it. The puppet masters and their field generals have written it all down for years and posted it on the web for your convenience, by the way. The World Economic Forum, UN 2030. The World Economic Forum kids run many countries, see also Europe, and most of the top banks and corporations. They're in a league with the Chinese Communist Party. Don't forget the WEF High Priest, Klaus Schwab, who's now been replaced by Larry Fink. Fink. Said the CCP has the best governance system. So they want to model the world after the CCP. Now, I had Stuart Swerdlov on with Laura Eisenhower talking about Trump is forming a thing called super states. It's kind of like his own global order. He wants to get Canada, Greenland, Iceland, and I've been told by Stuart Sverdlov that this is all happening. Now, you got to listen to this podcast. This will be up on YouTube and ninoscorner.tv. The important stuff is on ninoscorner.tv. Get over there and watch us. It'll be up tomorrow after the YouTube premiere. If there are generals, then who are the actual string pullers trying to wreck the economy? Repossess all of our stuff so we can own nothing and be happy. Now you're talking about the few richest families on the planet represented for hundreds of years through their secret societies and the what? City of London. The City of London Banking Consortium. And guess what, folks? Guess what? President Trump represents a threat to them all. I have to ask the question, Trump is 79 years old. How much time do you all think we really got with him? My dad's 90, and I noticed the cognitive decline at about this age, at about 80, 81. But after 85, it went really south. So how many years do you really think we have with him? And can we trust J.D. Vance, who is controlled by Peter Thiel, although I've been told also that Don Jr. is the one that referred him to his father, and they background checked him. They looked into him. They looked up his ass and said, you know what? This guy makes the fit. This guy, we can use this guy. And will he be controlled by the Trump family? But he will be the first AI tech president. This is who I hear the prospect is, folks. President Trump represents the threat to all of them in the global elite world. It would be impossible to get one world government control over every human's activity and all private property without the United States. If the United States Constitution and American liberty remain, they have no chance. When President Trump says it's you they are after, I'm just in the way, he's not kidding, folks. This is not a joke. This is the game we're playing right now. They want world domination, and they'll go by any means necessary, even nuclear war, to get this done. Since his return to D.C., the president has been outpacing the global overlords, putting out brush fires in the Mideast, Asia, and Africa, all which could have ignited a global war. Keep in mind, if the puppet masters could get a giant war, they will simply point to that as a reason you wound up broke and couldn't eat. It'd be their big excuse. Well, it's for a war. Send your kids off to the military. Is anyone the least bit curious as to why the European leaders and President Vladimir Zelensky have dragged their heels on ending the terrible war rather than following President Trump's leadership immediately? It's because they won the war, baby. Yeah, that's what they want. Watch the money. It's the most visible black swan that will get your attention. Long bond yields 30-year are going to the moon in Japan, UK, Germany, and soon the U.S. What does that mean? Well, it means the music is stopping soon, and you better find a chair. As bond yields go to all-time highs, it means no one trusts or wants the depths of these countries unless the offer is on par with junk bonds. Western governments, drunk with spending since we came off the gold standard in 1971, have used up all the debt and nearly destroyed the fiat currency in your bank account. When, not if, it's when. It's when we go over this financial cliff, which I'm hearing could come fairly soon. All those families that issued debt and bought up land, gold, and assets will have successfully stolen trillions. This is what they want to happen. Did you see how a war might, camouflage all this, folks? Yeah, that's what it'll do. A war will camouflage all of their robberies because they need the excuse. They need the excuse of a war in order to pull off the Black Swan event successfully. Doesn't mean they're still not going to do it, though. They can always blame hacking. We like to hack people. Or actually, the hackers now are India. After all, if we are directed to set aside our woes and unite against undetermined enemy, would it be treasonous to point at the city of London behind the curtain? Juan always talks about the Brits. Hopefully, I don't know if he's going to come on, folks. We're waiting for him. Bolton's on the dime, National Guard deploying to cities, Mexicans burn Israeli embassy, Islamists take over Europe, and it goes on and on and on and on. We are in the war. And a lot of you say the same thing, and I hear this all the time, oh, well, nothing's happening, man. Do you understand how this is David versus Goliath? It's the United States against a global conglomerate alliance going against us, and we don't know who the fuck is who. It's like we have to sift through it all. Got Tulsi Gabbard getting rid of 37 plus high intelligence officers. You got General Flynn out there. I mean, this is getting heavy, folks, and we're coming for them, believe me. We're coming for all of them. So does J.D. Vance really give an ominous warning? United States J.D. Vance says Trump is going to serve out the remainder of his term, but if, God forbid, there is a terrible tragedy, he cannot think of anyone better than him. Because he's had all the job training he needs. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Vance. I feel, I don't know. He's just not the guy. I can see him maybe later down the line, but to me, that's just my opinion. But Vance, despite what others have said, says the president is in incredibly good health, said Vance. He's got incredible energy, which he does. But the rumors circulating everywhere in all the syndicates and in the Patriot community is that he's getting sick. He is almost 80. So, damn it, Juanito, I'd like for you to come on right now. He told me something very different on the phone. A lot of good intel on the phone from Juanito. I'm waiting for him. He's in a bad spot. He's just in a bad spot. And another thing Juanito wanted to talk about, which I'm going to bring up right now, because I'm flowing, folks. I'm just going. I'm just flowing. I'm ripping and tearing. Ripping and tearing. Oh, I remember that video. The old guy at the party. Ripping and tearing, baby. He was like 55 and around a bunch of 20-year-olds. And they were asking him, how do you do it? I just keep ripping and tearing. That's Trump. But the guy was wearing a thong, not Trump. Anyway, so nuclear war alert. Russia warns that nuclear weapons will be used if necessary to remind the West of its power. Now, this is really what I wanted to talk to Juan about because he said, David, it's coming. Russia has now issued a most explicit nuclear threat since the war began nearly two years ago. There is no longer speculation, folks. No longer speculation, no longer vague phrases tucked into Kremlin statements. Moscow has drawn a clear, unmistakable line. If Western missiles strike Russian territory, the response will be symbolic. It will be nuclear, they're saying. It will go nuclear. Andrei Kurhusina, a member of the Russian State Duma Defense Committee, delivered the warning with a gravity that cannot be dismissed. He declared that any foreign missile strike deep inside Russia will automatically trigger tactical nuclear retaliation. More ominously, he added that if a NATO country itself launches such a strike, Moscow will retaliate directly with nuclear force. In other words, we're now at the point where they're saying they will skip everything and just go nuclear. That's what they're saying. You hit us, you strike us, anything, we're just going nuclear. And what does that mean? It means if we get involved in this, makes you think, what did Putin and Trump really talk about in that limousine? Isn't this the necessary scare event we need? Now, I'll let Juan talk about that more as soon as he gets the fuck up on here. But I don't see him. So, Article 5 guarantees or American promises of protection. For the first time, a senior Russian official suggested something unthinkable, the possibility of a demonstrative nuclear explosion on Russian soil to show the world that Russia is not bluffing. Now, Stuart Sverdlo, who I just had on my show, said, David, I've got some more bad news to tell you. And he started talking about the natural disasters that are coming, that the governments know about this. Okay. Now, this is going to be on Nino'sCorner.tv, and I'll just give you a brief overview of this. The governments know about the stars in Betelgeuse exploding. I think that's where he said it's originated from, coming with an energetic power that's disrupting our sun, causing coronal mass ejections, and the Earth's field. Now I'm kind of butchering all this. That's him right there. Yep, that's him. He's on the show tomorrow on YouTube and on ninoscorner.tv, and he's saying that the governments all know about this, and it's really disrupting volcanoes and earthquakes. He goes, that's why we're having so many natural disasters, and they're only going to intensify and get worse unless we can think of a problem. Now, the elite know about this. This is why they've built underground bunkers. They want to create this World War III scenario to go under and then get ready for this bombardment of these, I guess, photons, energetic substance that's coming from Betelgeuse star exploding. They're getting ready for all of it, is what he's saying. And it's going to happen before probably 2030, he estimates. It's, if you've seen it, folks, I don't know. I mean, I'm just stating what we talked about, but it's a hell of a show, and it's going to be on ninoscorner.tv tomorrow. There's an underground, what I would imagine one looks like. I guess that could be AI, but a lot of elites are going underground. This is not a joke, okay? So things are heating up. Things are absolutely heating up. This is not mere theater timed for diplomatic effect. The statements arrive precisely as NATO debates handing Ukraine longer-range strike capabilities. So now Ukraine's saying, you know what, let's give them bigger missiles to go and hit Russia. Kiev already fields Britain's Storm Shadow and France's Scalp missile systems that have already struck airfields, command centers, and logistic hubs deep inside Russia. Yet Ukraine now demands even greater range, even deadlier power. Moscow's patience is visibly running out, and they're saying, fuck with us and find out. Newsom is sending troops to LA, San Francisco after Trump threats. Governor Gavin Newsom is deploying the California Highway Patrol, across major cities as President Donald Trump threatened to send the National Guard to places like San Francisco and neighboring Oakland, and Newsom's not having it because he's a tough guy. He's a real tough guy. The officers will work with local law enforcement in San Diego, Los Angeles, and the Bay Area region, the governor's office said Thursday. A spokesperson for the governor didn't provide details on how many officers would be deployed or for how long. Gotta love it. Hey, what does the horse eat? Hey. Newsom's announcement follows multiple threats by Trump to expand deployment of the National Guard beyond Washington, D.C. to other large Democratic-led cities. Trump, who moved the D.C. Police Department under federal control and ordered about 2,000 troops to patrol the nation's capital, has singled out places like what? Chicago, Baltimore, and, California, Oakland, and San Francisco. And Newsom is not having it. In fact, he's going to play tough right now, guys, because he's got to win over the liberals. They got to have a tough guy, and he's tough. He's the toughest guy of all. Border news. Let's get to look at him right there. Oh, he's just taking it up the ass, ain't he? Oh. All right. So border news. Can we trust Mexico to give to the poor? Or will this just go to the cartels? Well, Mexico's president asks the U.S. to share convicted cartel leaders $15 billion with her country's poorest people. Yeah, okay. We're really going to fall for that one. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said Wednesday she would ask the United States, could you share, about $15 billion that you all expect to extract from the convicted Mexican drug cartel lord Ismael Elmayo Zambada on her country's poor and give to her country's poor. Now, who controls Mexico? The cartels, baby. So who controls Claudia? Yeah, you know who it is. And I'm sure Trump is just nodding his head going, oh, yeah, we're just going to give back to you. We're going to take the $15 billion from Elmayo and give it right back to you so you can do what you want with it. Sinaloa drug cartel co-founder Zambada pleaded guilty in a New York court on Monday to murder and drug trafficking, particularly fentanyl, a powerful narcotic responsible for tens of thousands of U.S. overdose deaths annually. In pleading guilty, the 77-year-old, holy shit, he's 77. Like, at what point does being evil get old? You know what I mean? Have you guys wondered this? Like, 77 years old, it's like, aren't you fucking tired, man? Aren't you tired? Don't you want to just kick back in your rocking chair and say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to try to get into heaven. I mean, wouldn't that be the objective now? I mean, I don't know. That's how I see it. I'm fucking 47 and I'm already fucking tired. So I don't understand how someone at 77 can be like, I want to control the world. Yes. Where's my coffee? I don't see my coffee. I didn't get it. All right. Well, breaking alert, a large-scaled NATO military operation is underway searching for a Russian submarine believed to have threatened the U.S. aircraft carrier Gerald R. Ford. All right. So that looks like a child's handwriting right there, but that's actually the path it took. I guess it was a bit confused. Looks like one of those sketchboards. I guess the submarine pilot was drunk. I don't know. Fuck. Anyway, they're saying that the Gerald R. Ford in the Norwegian Sea, the Norwegian, United States, and British forces are involved in the operation. It seems like something serious has occurred, but we await more details. I think he's drunk and he's just having the time of his life driving a submarine. That's what I think he's doing. Looks like a child's handwriting. JD Vance is worried about NFL Super Bowl wedding with Swift and Kelsey. I'll tell you one thing, one person who does not give a fuck, and that's me. But I'm going to read it anyway because that's how dumb people are in America. They care about Swifties. Swift. JD Vance expresses concern over potential NFL bias towards the Kansas City Chiefs. Can't these people just go away? Can't we just send him to an island? Travis Kelsey and Swift. Can't we just send them the fuck away? Please go away. You're already old, Swifty. You're like 40, okay? And you still act like you're 12. And Travis Kelsey, I've already put the offer out there. I would love for you. I would like to fight you. And honestly, I think it'd be great. Pay-per-view. We don't have, or DAZN, whatever you want to do. And the truth is, you won't win. You'll lose because it's not like you're going to go out for a path. It's a little different. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm getting off track here. Trump says Beverly Hills crime is bad. And, people feel unsafe there. And he's willing to send troops into Beverly Hills. President Trump this summer has rallied against American cities and says are beset by crime and disorder. Los Angeles, lawless. Chicago, a killing field. Baltimore, a hellhole. Washington, out of control. But Beverly Hills, as the president this week threatened to send National Guard and other troops to more American cities, he has some choice words about the wealthy enclave where he once owned a home. During an Oval Office talk in which he defended troop deployments in Los Angeles and Washington, the conversation suddenly turned to Beverly Hills. Trump called the city a great place, but noted he has friends who leave the trunk and doors of their cars open because they know they're not going to be vandalized and don't want to risk getting the windows or other parts of their vehicles damaged. They don't want the trunk ripped off in order for them to steal what's in there in the back, he said. The president also said another friend of his leaves his garage door open so that people can just walk into his garage and take whatever the hell they want and leave. In a city that prides itself on a opulent image, the comments took officials by surprise, and they're saying, nah, Trump. We don't want your troops here. But I got a feeling when the shit hits the fan soon, I say fairly soon, they're going to want troops in Beverly Hills. Could we see troops in Beverly Hills? But if Gavin Newsom has his way, that just won't happen. He won't allow it. All right, folks, I hope I'm holding the show together pretty well by myself here. I'm waiting for Juanito, but he's not on. So I'm just going to go ahead and read. Fuck, Alex, we forgot to do the gift card giveaway.
Yeah, that was on Monday earlier this week, but we can. It's Friday today.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
that's what traveling does to you, folks. Wow, I thought it was Monday today. Dude, it
Yeah.
feels like a Monday to me. You know why? Because I was in fucking Virginia.
In Virginia, and then we didn't have the show on Wednesday, so it's kind of
That's
like
right. So that's why I felt like it was Monday. Hey, yo, hits to the head, yo. Right. All right. In what the fuck news? Demonic Minneapolis mass shooter Robin Westman walked around saying praise Hitler as a child, her ex-friend says. Minneapolis school shooter Robin Westman used to horrify classmates by walking around saying praise Hitler, according to a former friend who denounced him as demonic. Josefina Sanchez said she is still tormented by how erratic and off the wall Westman was when they were briefly friends in 7th grade at a school in St. Paul. Shit, was this guy going? He was going to Catholic schools, right, Alex? Was that what he was doing? So kids aren't safe anywhere. Was he going to a Catholic school?
Yeah, it was a Catholic school.
Oh, mental illness knows no boundaries or schools. I'm telling you. I mean, damn. Even when that young, the soon-to-be trans killer showed signs of the hateful anti-Semitism and would later see him fantasizing about attacking filthy, you know what, J people. He would put up his hand and say things like, praise Hitler, Sanchez told the outlet, fighting back tears that they thought he could have that they should have raised the alarm on his behavior to prevent Wednesday's mass shooting. I don't think anybody can prevent any kind of shooting, to be honest with you, unless you like catch them in the act and take the gun away. But these kids are saying something was off with him as a kid. He would, I know, like what to do in the 7th grade. She asked, when you see something erratic, it doesn't leave your mind. So they're saying that they saw this behavior at a very young age. He was nuts. No pun intended. He has no. All right, folks, I'm out of here. I appreciate everything. I'm going to get on with Wano Saban right now. Call him and say, what the hell happened, Juanito? He popped in and popped out. I saw him in and out of the green room, but his camera kept freezing. So I guess I'll have him on Nino'sCorner.tv right now to talk about JD Vance, everything going down, nuclear war, the whole thing. I haven't talked to him in a while. He was in the Congo in Africa. He was in the Congo in Africa, and he just got back to the States. He was in Africa for 7 weeks dealing with politics in South Africa and in the Congo. So crazy stuff. He has a lot to talk about, and I'll bring him on Nino'sCorner.tv right now, folks. So get your asses over there and get the news before the news. All right? The real news, baby. Yeah. All right, folks, I'm out of here. And the new heavyweight champion of podcasting and the black sheep of broadcasting, baby.